Forward. If life hands you a geyser, don't just stand there waiting for it to erupt. Dance in the steam, laugh as it burns, and call it art. Madness is just sanity, but with better lighting. Chapter 1. Yellowstone was performing a show-off that morning, painting its stuff like a painter gone mad with a palette of gold and green. The sun didn't just rise, it exploded. Light was flowing across the meadows, gilding the geysers until they shimmered like the earth has its own fever dreams. Steam curled upward in lazy spirals, hissing secrets that smelled of sulfur and rebellion. The air was a clash of pine and brimstone, a scent so sharp it could cut through Vicky's teenage haze. She was dragging herself along a warped boardwalk as her sneakers were scuffing the wood, each step being a protest against the world's insistence on mornings. Her backpack, a ragged relic with a zipper that screamed for retirement, slumped against her spine, like it was carrying her entire existential crisis. The park was alive, shamelessly so. Wildflowers littered the meadows in reckless patches, their colors violet, yellow, crimson, looking like a toddler had scribbled them in with a vengeance. A bison loafed in the distance, with its bulk being a monument to indifference, grunting as if to say, "Kid, you're not the weirdest thing I've seen today." The ground hummed beneath Vicky's feet, a low pulse that felt like the earth was muttering curses, or maybe just gossiping about last night's stars. The sky was a ridiculous blue, that kind that dared you to hate it, with a single cloud shaped like a fist giving the world the finger. "Mood," Vicky muttered, kicking a pebble. It skittered into a hot spring, sizzling like her patience in a microwave. Uncle John was ahead. His grey beard was a chaotic shrub that seemed to have its own agenda, like it was plotting to escape his face. He wore a flannel shirt, so faded it looked like it already had been through a war, and his boots crunched the gravel with a rhythm that said he was dancing with the planet itself. He stopped, tilting his head, as if listening to the wind's bad advice. "Vicky, the earth got a heartbeat today," he said with a husky drawl. Not cosmic fish nonsense, but the kind of weird that made you wonder if he had seen things you hadn't. "It's thumping, loud, like it's got a grudge." Vicky snorted, adjusting her backpack. "A grudge, John. It's just dirt and hot water. Unless you think the geysers are plotting something against you." She smirked, but her eyes flicked to the ground, half expecting it to growl back. He turned. His grin was sharp enough to carve wood. "Dirt's never just dirt, kid. It's got stories, old ones, the kind that don't end with happily ever after, but with bones and whispers." He tapped his boot on the boardwalk. The sound was echoing like a challenge. "You feel it? The pulse. It's not just geology, it's intent." "Intent?" Vicky arched an eyebrow. Her sarcasm was a well-worn shield. "What? The park has got a vendetta? Gonna erupt because it's mad at tourists?" She gestured the horizon where the old faithful sat quiet. Its steam was curling like a bored dragon's breath. The geyser's basin was a moonscape of cracked earth and bubbling pools, each one glinting like it knew something she didn't. John chuckled with a low rumble that matched the earth hum. "You're too young to hear it proper, but you will. Yellowstone's not just a park, it's a stage. The things come here to play their parts, heroes, monsters, or just fools like us." He pointed at a raised that was resting on a dead pine. Its eyes were glinting like obsidian. Actually, it's not a rave, it's a raven. It's a mistake. But you know what? For funsies, I will not re-record this part. He pointed at a raven that was jesting on a dead pine. Its eyes were glinting like obsidian. See that bird? It's a critic. Watching, judging. Vicky rolled her eyes, but couldn't help a grin. You're unhinged, you know that? Most uncles give advice about taxes or dating. You are out here preaching about judgmental birds. Taxes are scam and dating is a trap. John cut, waving a hand like he was swatting away the modern world. But birds? They know things. That one is probably writing a review of your life in its head. 2 stars, needs more chaos. He winked, but his eyes were sharp, scanning the meadow like he expected it to sprout fangs. Vicky laughed, a rare sound that felt like spitting in the face of her usual gloom. John was a walking contradiction, half philosopher, half lunatic, with a craft for making the absurd sound plausible. Back in New Orleans, she was a misfit, dodging classmates' barbs and her parents' silence. Here, with John, she felt like she could breathe. Even the air smelled like the earth bad breath. Okay, fine, she said, playing along. What's the raven saying about me? That I'm doomed to write bad poetry and eat the bee cereal forever? John stopped, leaning against a sign that warned, "Stay in boardwalk, scalding water." Poetry's never bad if it's honest, he said with a softer tone, almost being serious. Yours is good, Vicky. Sharp, like a knife. You don't see coming, but you're holding back, scared of what's inside. He tapped his chest, then pointed at hers. That's where the real stories are, not out here. He gestured at the gazers, the meadows, the sky. This is just the backdrop. Vicky's smirk faltered. Her fingers were brushing the notebook in her backpack. She wrote poems in secret, lines about cracked asphalt and lonely dawns, but she had never shown John. How did he know? You're fishing, she said, deflecting. What's next? You're gonna read my palm? Tell me I'm destined to marry a bison. He laughed, with a bark that startled a squirrel into nearby bush. Bison is too good for you, kid. Too much baggage. But destiny? He squinted at the horizon, where the sun was climbing, turning the steam clouds into golden ghosts. Destiny is like a geyser. You don't choose when it blows, but you can decide whether to dance in the spray. Dance in the spray? Vicky scoffed, crossing her arms. That's your advice? I'm not twirling in boiling water, John. I would rather keep my skin. But her lips twitched, betraying her. John's weirdness was infectious, like a virus that made you see the world sideways. He shrugged, starting to walk again. His boots were kicking up the dust. Suit yourself. But life is gonna scald you either way. Might as well make it art. He paused, sniffing the air like a wolf with a philosophy degree. Smell that? Sulfur's thicker now. Something's off. Like the park's holding its breath. Vicky frowned, catching the shift in his tone. The air did feel heavier, the sulfur sharper, like a warning written in smoke. The meadow stretched out, deceptively calm. But the bison had vanished, and the ravens were too quiet. She followed John, with her sarcasm being on standby, as her eyes were scanning the trees. That's when she saw her. A girl, maybe 20, slumped against a curved pine, Her red hair was a wildfire, tangles spilling over her shoulders. Blood soaked her shirt, dark and glossy, and her hands twitched as orange sparks flickered at her fingertips like fireflies with a death wish. "John, over here!" Vicky hissed, pointing. Her voice was low but urgent. "She's hurt. Or maybe she's just really into avant-garde blood art." John's eyes narrowed, not crazy white but sharp, like he had seen ghosts before breakfast. "That's no artist. That's a trouble with a capital T and a bad haircut." Chapter 2. As they approached, the girl's breath ragged. Her eyes were half open, green as jade, but glassy. Her hands twitched. Orange light was pulsing under her skin like a neon vein. Vicky knelt. Her sarcasm was put on pause. "Hey, you alive? Or is this your audition for a zombie film?" The girl's lips curled, making a weak smirk. "Alive, barely. You got a bandage or a miracle, maybe?" Her voice was rough, but it had a spark, like she would sass the death itself. John crouched, sniffing the air like a deranged bloodhound. "You smell like ash and secrets, girl. What is chasing you? Tax collectors, ex-lovers, or something with sharper teeth?" She coughed. Blood was flooding her lips. Something worse. Don't stay here." Her hand flared. Orange flames licked the grass before fizzling out. Vicky jumped back. Her heart was doing a punk rock drum solo. "Jesus! You're a human flamethrower," Vicky said, half astonished, half terrified. "What's your deal? Escape the circus or a lab?" The girl didn't answer. Her head was lolling. John scooped her up, surprisingly gentle for a man who argued with marmots. "Cabin's closed. We patch her up, then ask questions. Unless she burns first." Vicky trailed him, glancing back. The meadow was too quiet. Bison gone. Gazers were holding their breath. Something was coming, and it wasn't bringing flowers. Chapter 3. John's cabin was a shrine to chaos. A ukulele with no strings, a jar labeled Lorelei 1967, and Nariman the stuffed marmot, still rocking his sunglasses. The girl laid on a bed. Her blood was staining the blanket like abstract art. Vicky tore an old shirt into bandages. Her hands were surprisingly steady despite the surrealness. John boiled water on a camp stove, muttering about ley lines and bad omens. "She's not normal, John," Vicky said, wrapping the girl's ribs. "Normal people don't glow orange or bleed like they fought a dragon." John stirred the water. His eyes were distant. "Normal is a myth, Vicky, like unicorns or affordable rent. She's from somewhere else, somewhere the stars don't play nice." The girl moved. Her eyes were fluttering. "Not safe," she rasped. "He's coming. Department." Her hand twitched. Orange light traced runes in the air before fading. Vicky leaned closer, still shielding with her sarcasm. "Department? What, like the DMV with magic hands? And what's your spark? Pyromania with extra steps?" The girl's gaze sharpened, cutting through Vicky's bravado. "You're bold, kid. Good. You will need it. He's relentless, tracks through worlds. I burned him, but he's still coming." John handed Vicky a mug of tea that smelled like regret. "Drink, kid. Keeps the demons at bay. Girl, you got your name? Or do we call you Firestarter?" She hesitated, then said, Call me Ember. Her smirk was back, faint but defiant. Vicky knew it was a lie but didn't push. Ember's magic felt like a secret too big for names. Chapter 4. Night fell like a guillotine. The stars were too sharp, like they were spying. Vicky sat on the porch. Her notebook was open, scribbling. The world's a liar, dressed in steam and blood. Inside, Ember slept. Her breath was shallow. Orange flickers were under her skin like a dying bulb. John was carving a stick. His knife was flashing in the moonlight. Vicky, the air is wrong, he said, not looking up. It has got teeth. Teeth, John? You sound like a bad poet. Vicky mocked, but her skin prickled. The trees rustled, but not with wind, but with an intent. Then she saw it, a figure in black armor, visor glinting like a dead star, standing at the meadow's edge. Its presence sucked the warmth from the air. The grass was fading under its boots. John? We got company, Vicky whispered. Her voice was cracking. And it's not the friendly kind. John stood, his knife swapped for a shotgun he had pulled from nowhere. Stay with Ember. I will have a chat with our guest. Vicky bolted inside, shaking Ember. Wake up, Firestarter. Your stalker is here, and he's got a vibe like a death accountant. Ember's eyes snapped open. Orange light was flooding her pupils. He's fast, she croaked, struggling to sit. Can't fight him now. Need time. Vicky dragged her to the window where John was circling the agent. The man in black moved like oil, fluid and wrong. A blade in his hand was pulsing with white light. John fired. The shot echoed like thunder, but the agent blurred, dodging with an inhumane speed. The blade slashed, slashing John's arm, blood spraying the grass. John! Vicky yelled. Her sarcasm was gone. Ember gripped her wrist. Orange sparks burned Vicky's skin. Focus, Ember hissed. I can burn him, but I need your anger, your fire. My what? Vicky snapped, but Ember's gaze was a furnace, pulling something raw from her chest. Rage at school, at home, at the world's endless grind. The cabin shook. Orange flames erupted from Ember's hands, channeled through Vicky's fury. Chapter 5. The meadow became a battlefield. Gazers were erupting like the earth was screaming. Ember wobbled outside. Vicky supported her. Orange fire was swirling around them like a tornado. The agent turned. His visor was reflecting the flames, unmoved. You're weak, mage, he said with a mechanical rasp. The department claims your spark. Claims this, Ember snarled, hurling a fireball. It exploded, scorching the ground, but the agent sidestepped. His blade slashed. Vicky ducked, pulling Ember down as the blade whistled overhead. John charged, swinging the shotgun like a club, but the agent caught it, twisting it from his hands. Vicky's notebook fell from her pocket. Pages fluttered open. A daisy glinted in the firelight. Not yet, she muttered, grabbing Ember's arm. Burn hotter, Firestarter, for John. Ember's flames roared, and fed by Vicky's defiance, a dragon of orange light coiled around the agent. He staggered, his armor cracked. White light was leaking like blood. John grabbed his knife, plunging it into the agent's visor. The man screamed, a sound like glass shattering, and collapsed. His body dissolved into ash. The gazers fell silent. The meadow was smoldering. Ember tumbled. Her flames were gone. Blood was pooling under her. Vicky knelt. Her hands were shaking. "You're not dying, Firestarter. Not after that." Ember's smirk was faint. "Not planning to. Thanks, kid. You're more than you know." Her hand glowed. Orange light traced a spiral on Vicky's palm. "Keep that. Might need it." Chapter 6. Dawn crept in, blushful, like it knew it was late. Ember was gone, vanished with a flicker of orange, leaving only a scorched patch where she had lain. Vicky sat on the porch. Her palm was itching where the spiral burned. John bandaged his arm, whistling that damn kazoo monody. "She was a comet, Vicky," he said. "Not quite normal, not quite mad. Crashed here, burned bright, gone. You helped her fly." "Fly?" "She almost got us killed," Vicky muttered, but her sarcasm was thin. The spiral on her palm pulsed, like a promise or a curse. She opened her notebook. The daisy was still there. Its petals looked as if almost mocking her. The meadow was quiet. The bison back, chewing like nothing happened. Yellowstone hummed. Its secrets were deeper now, stained with ash and orange light. Vicky scribbled, "The world's a geyser, and I am dancing in the steam." Epilogue. A daisy grew where the agent fell. Its petals were slightly burned in orange at the edges. Vicky didn't pick it. She let it stand as a monument to madness, to a girl who burned, to a night when the world cracked open and showed its teeth. Somewhere, a gazer laughed.